This will be a critical week for the US equity markets. It doesn't look good at the moment, but we really need to wait and see how this week plays out. However, this gives us a chance to look at a sector that is offering some interesting swing trading possibilities, and two of my favorite countries outside the US that are clearly in bull markets. Let's talk about it. Welcome to Hot Trades of the Day, your show for swing trading ideas for the coming days, weeks, and month. Okay, we don't need to talk too much about the Nasdaq. You know the drill. It doesn't look good right now. We're below the 50, we're below the 200. The 200 being the purple line that you see, and then the 50 is the maroon line that you see here, and you see it's already trending down. Not great. If it cuts through the 200, even worse. We broke the uptrend channel, regained it by the end of last week, and also confirmed the support zone, the horizontal support zone that you see here. But now for today, it looks like we gonna go lower. We will see S&P 500 really quick. Looks even worse. As you can see, uptrend channel broken, below the 200, below the 50. Rounding top is in, and we are already at the last support zone. Looks like a Donkey Kong game from the 80s, I know, but it's basically the same thing. The barrels are coming down, and if Super Mario doesn't jump high enough, then we're gonna get dragged down even more. So we know there's always a bull market somewhere. There's always money to be made in the market. So where should we look? Well, I told you before, look at China. Looks great. What can I tell you guys? Right? You may not like Chinese stocks, but you probably like money. Otherwise, you wouldn't watch this channel. And this is clearly a much, much better chart than anything that the US has to offer. Higher highs, higher lows, 50 trending up, 200 trending up, 50 above the 200. We could add the 20 or the 100, doesn't matter. That just convolutes it. You get my point. Now, can we retest this breakout area and fill this gap? Likely. But that then, if this holds and confirms, that is a great swing trading entry point on the long side for Chinese stocks. And obviously, I told you my favorite emerging market overall, Vietnam. Told you about it last week. What did I tell you guys? We are running into an ascending triangle formation. Looks like we're gonna break out. Look what happened last week. Vietnam, the VNI index, it broke out to the upside. Super bullish setup. 50 broke the 200. Perfect. If you can invest in Vietnam, if you like Vietnam, not only Vietnamese food, beautiful country by the way, highly recommend traveling there if you haven't been there, then this is definitely. Look at this. Look how bullish this looks on the weekly. I mean, you can't find an index setup that looks as good as this. Anyway, we don't only want to talk about foreign markets. We want to know, hey, where can money be made in the US? What is going on somewhere? And for this, we're going to look at the pharma sector. Long forgotten. Nobody cares about it. Boring. Yeah, it's boring, but you know what? It's not boring. Making some money. Look at the Pharma ETF, the iShares Pharma ETF, the big one, the IHE, and you can see higher highs. Granted, barely, right? Barely, but we made higher highs. We're above the 50. We're above the 200. Looks very different than the Nasdaq and 100 or the S&P, right? Higher lows. We broke the midterm downtrend that has been in place since the summer of last year. That's a big buy signal. Big buy signal. Okay. So could we go and retest the breakout area? Yes, that would actually be ideal. As a swing trader, we would love this, right? If we get back down to around 69.60 in the IHE ETF, that could be interesting. Look at Johnson & Johnson. Now that's a chart, right? Most of you guys probably don't have this on your bingo card. But this is a stock that's gaining momentum. 3-year downtrend broken. Okay, broken in mid-February. Breakout confirmed. This is a big buy signal for J&J. We're above the 200. We're above the 50. This looks super interesting. We made a higher high in the RSI. That's what we want to see when we have ascending stock prices, right? We made the first higher high since 2022. That's the first big signal. So, J&J, put it on your watch list. This one is an interesting setup. Or, I really like Bristol Myers Squibb. Long-term downtrend, already broken last summer. Retested it, confirmed. Party time, bullish consolidation. We just broke out on the weekly. Let me switch to the daily. Same thing, because this just happened. Look at this. Bullish consolidation after this run up from last summer. This is textbook. Breakout now. If we confirm it today, above the 20, above the 200, what more do we want? We get a retest of the so-called scene of the crime, of the breakout area. If this confirms, going long in Bristol Myers. Interesting long swing trade for the pharmaceuticals. Or Royalty Pharmaceuticals, not very well known, smaller stock, about 19 billion market cap. But look at this. If you just look at this chart in 2025, you wouldn't think that the stock market is in any trouble. Higher highs, higher lows, wonderful. 200, above the 200, trending up, above the 50, trending up. 50 already cut the 200, which means short-term momentum is going up. The RSI is not really nice to see, but there is one of the reasons is that not many people know about this stock at all. We zoom out a little bit, we see beautiful bottoming process. And this is something that we see in a lot of pharmaceutical stocks. So, same setup. We patiently wait. Do we retest the breakout area, right? In RPRX at around 31.85. We find a bottom here. We want to go long on this stock. So why is nobody really talking about the pharmaceuticals besides them being boring? One of the reasons is that the biotech sector is not moving. The biotech sector is basically doing nothing. So that means there's not much interest right now in anything going on in the healthcare space as far as the fundamentals is concerned. Eli Lilly is kind of, going up and down, but it's really going nowhere. This is, by the way, the IBB, the biotech ETF, the large one. As you can see, really nothing has happened in the past year. We've gone sideways. Yes, obviously with volatility, but really nothing has happened. And that's kind of the same feeling, right? Everything is kind of boring. Eli Lilly, if you look at it, we're basically at the same place that we were. Actually, we're down. So even here, but for almost a year, we basically, the stock has done nothing. The GLP-1 craze is cooled down. And another reason, so besides that we do not have any big fundamental news coming out of the healthcare space, is that the number one pharma stock that everybody's watching has been terrible, and that's Pfizer. Now, I've recommended Pfizer before to keep it on the watch list and look at it. And look what's happening with Pfizer. This is getting really interesting. Pfizer starting to break out of this triangle formation. Remember, I showed you this formation before. We are breaking out. We're already above the 50. Nobody's talking about it. On Friday, we broke and closed above the 200. Nobody's talking about that. Not confirmed yet. But this is a triple buy signal if this holds. Meaning, we've broken the long-term downtrend. We broke above the 50, we broke above the 200, and finally the 50 is starting to trend up. And Pfizer obviously is the big American pharmaceutical stock that people look at. And if nothing is happening in Pfizer, then a lot of investors feel that, all right, there's really nothing happening in the pharmaceutical sector. Though I already showed you with some of the smaller pharmaceutical stocks, there's a lot of action happening. But now Pfizer is even joining the party. We need to really pay close attention to Pfizer if it can confirm this uptrend. There is so much room to run for Pfizer, right? It's not a problem to wait out the confirmation. Let me switch to the weekly so you guys can get a better idea on this. Look where we are coming from. I mean, this is December 2022. This is not that far back, right? Pfizer was like a $52 stock. So we're almost 50% below that. If Pfizer can join the party, then the pharmaceutical ETFs will start to move, because Pfizer, obviously one of the big pharmaceutical companies, it's a heavyweight in these ETFs. But also people will start paying attention to Pfizer and to the pharma stocks. So put them on your watch list. Remember, there's always a bull market. There's always money being made. You just need to know where and need to find the sectors where it is. Clearly, the long forgotten pharma sector is one of these sectors. So let's do our homework before most of the investors and get in before they understand what's happening there. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.